Well, hello YouTube. I'm guessing you've all seen the title that this is a goodbye episode. And it's been a while. It's been a couple years. Heather and I, we made our very first video here. For everything there's a season. And all good things must come to an end. So today, we say goodbye to our 49,000 subscribers. At some point later today, we will have 50,000 subscribers. Gotcha! You thought we were quitting. Nah, we can't be run off that easy. We're we're like that bad penny, man. We're hard to get rid of. Seemed like an appropriate thing to do, though. I apologize. Heather made me do it. I didn't want to. Heather twisted my arm. She made me do it. So, anyway, this is a very special episode. Like I said, I'll quit goofing off. This is a very special episode. This is our 50,000th subscriber episode. As of a few minutes ago, I looked, and I think it was 49,990 something, 95. So whatever, we just need a few more subscribers, and we will cross the 50,000 mark. It's hard to believe that, you know, just coming out here and telling you guys these old hillbilly stories and stuff, that there would be 50,000 of you that actually cared. It's about 49,998 more subscribers than we thought we would get. We figured it'd probably be me and Heather. Heather and I, excuse me. Heather and I. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But anyway, I thought that for our 50,000th subscriber episode, it would be appropriate to come back to where it all began. This is the very spot, like I said, where Heather and I made our very first video right here in the old town of Matewan. That's the old town right there. The part right there is the older section. Of course, the newer stuff, you know. But we've done a lot of stories up here. We've taken you guys to a lot of places. We've shown you a lot of hillbilly stuff. We found a lot of lost historic sites. We've told a lot of stories, told a lot of legends, told the story behind them too. It's been a lot of fun, it really has. But I wanted to take the time out to say thank you to all of our supporters. We both wanted to take the time out. Let me rephrase that. To take the time out to thank all of our supporters, all of our viewers, our page members, Patreon supporters. Guys, we could not do this stuff without you guys. All right, let's jump into Can-Am, and we're gonna run around Matewan a little bit, and I'll show you around. I haven't really drove around, kind of show you the layout. I've walked around, went from place to place, and shown you various things, you know, various buildings and historical locations, and you know, the Hatfields and McCoys did this here, and so on and so forth. But we're just going to kind of take a little ride around town and show you a little bit about it. And now this here is the old Matewan Depot replica museum. It's a replica of the old train depot that used to sit right down here, right down that way. But they've rebuilt it, recreated it up on this end. And we did a video in there as well. Went and showed you the old museum. Danny, matter of fact, Danny went with me on that one. And we looked at the old museum. But I figured this is the best place to start a little tour of Matewan, because this is the beginning. You know, you start at the beginning of anything, right? This is the main entrance into town from the West Virginia side. That bridge is the main entrance into town from the Kentucky side. And there is Matewan itself, the little town of Matewan itself. Extremely historic little town of Matewan, West Virginia. Now, for those of you who are trail riders, of course, you know, there's the museum right here, the old repo, if I can say it, depot replica right here. But for trail riders, as you come into town, the trail ends right there and drops you right into town. So it's really easy to find. But while we're here, I just wanted to touch on a couple things. Now, of course, there's, you know, hiking and, you know, about trails and things like that. But just a few of the historical markers right here at the entrance to town, including one for Sid right there, as a matter of fact. Some of Matewan's history, some of the history of the area. Of course, Devil Anse, Hatfield, and Randall McCoy, of course. And the flood wall. And some old pictures. And there's the flood. Look at that. That was the 77 flood. Completely covered the whole town. Talks about the mine wars in the early 20s. The Battle of Matewan. Let's see. I'm assuming that the Battle of Blair Mountain is probably mentioned in here. And I'm not seeing it right now, but it was. It talks about Sid Hatfield and his deputy, Ed Chambers, getting killed. They went to testify and were murdered on the courthouse steps. And we took you guys there as well. Sid's buried right across the bridge here, up on the hill. And Matewan and the railroad, or the old depot. And you can see it looks just like the new one. It looks just like it. Right down to the little wagons. Now this one here, this one mentions Sid himself. Legends and lore. Sid Hatfield, known for flashy gold teeth. He liked to smile a lot. Smiling Sid fought for miners in the Battle of Matewan. His 1921 murder sparked the Battle of Blair Mountain. And we took you to his grave. Like I said, he's right over here, right straight up on the hill. The state of Kentucky, named for the Kentucky River, bearing an Indian name called the Dark and Bloody Ground, explored by Daniel Boone in 1769, settled at Harrodsburg in 1774. It became a Virginia county in 1776 and was admitted to the Union as a state in 1792. I have met countless trail riders over the years on this very, very parking lot right here. I have met a bunch of them right here. I'd usually meet them. If they were staying in Matewan, I'd meet them up here. If they were staying in Williamson, I'd meet them there. I didn't like people paying me for transit time back and forth. You know, cover the tour, not the time getting back and forth to me. Tried to do things right, you know. But anyway, we're going to take us a little cruise around town. There's a whole bunch of historic buildings still left that I would like to show you guys. Well, the first one, it's not exactly historic. The Trailhead Restaurant right here, Trailhead Bar and Grill. Good friend of ours runs that, Jamie. When I stay at Hatfield's Hideout and Riverfront Cabins and do my little camping videos there, Jamie is the one you contact to, you know, to make arrangements to camp there. If you send a message, Jamie will be the one who replies. So, yeah. And they have really good food there too, by the way. So, yeah, it's real convenient. Come right off the trailhead, pull right into their parking lot. Have you a cold one, have you something to eat, relax with your buddies, and go hit the trail again. Speaking of hitting the trail, I guess I need to get in mine and hit this trail. Kind of cover the town. I want to go up, show you some of the old historic buildings, tell you some of the stuff that happened there, and you know, just kind of look around a little bit. We had a big snow last winter. I camped out right down there, and we had about 10 inches, 12 inches of snow. I probably did 1,000 donuts in that parking lot right there. Sliding sideways, sliding backwards, sliding forward. You name it. I slid all over the parking lot. Had a ball. All right, let's take us a cruise around town, because, you know, a joke's a joke, but, you know, you clicked on the video, so I'm going to show you real stuff. You know, I'm not going to shortchange you because it's a joke. All right, let's jump in. Let's take us a ride and show you some really cool old buildings and stuff. Some real West Virginia history. All right, we are ready to go. Now this is pulling out of the depot and heading into town. Now this right here, like I said, this is the Trailhead Restaurant. A couple years ago it was a bank. I think it was Bank of Mingo, and Jamie got it and converted it into a restaurant. And the old drive-through is now an outdoor seating area. So when y'all come down, you could, hang on, let me zip that down. Let's see what I'm talking about. That's better. There's nobody behind me. Little seating area here outside. TJ's little carry out right here. Now there's a couple right here I want to stop at real fast. This here is the Buffalo Mountain Inn, and this is the old hospital here in Matewan, West Virginia. Now years ago, hang on, let me get out of here. Years ago, a lot of the famous people that you've probably heard about from Matewan, they actually passed away or received help, you know, in this very building right here. Now, right up here, that tall one there, well, we're getting a side-by-side run up to it and look at it. But a lot of interesting history, you know, just medical history. You know, Dr. Roy treated a lot of the people that, you know, from the old stories and stuff. He was actually the attending physician. Interesting, isn't it? And like I said, this was the dentist over here. But that's been changed and added this little section on right here to link the two up and make it one big house. And like I said, this is some friends of ours that own Wingo's right up here that own this. But okay, let me see where we're at. Let me get back to my side-by-side and we'll move on up. The old seed store. Well, we just walk there. It's right here. Look at that old building. Check that out. It looks the part, doesn't it? It certainly looks the part. Now, I think this was 1919. Ooh, I was close. 1918. Ooh, that was close. I missed it by 1 year. That's not bad. That ain't bad. Anyhow, this is also owned by the people who own Wingo's Restaurant, Kathy and Don McCoy. She was a Hatfield who married a McCoy. Yeah, you heard that right. That does happen from time to time. But they have all kinds of old antiques, things like that. Part of a still, an old sled, an old barrel, antique motorcycle tires. Okay, the tires might not be as old as the rest of it. Now, if Don's in, if y'all come up to Matewan, if Donald's around, he'll show you the stuff. He'll let you go in there and look around, and he has a great big map that is really cool. Great big, takes like half of a wall kind of map. But there's all kinds of old artifacts, things like that. Missed it by 1 year. I said 1919, it's 1918. That was a good guess, though. But this is, like I said, this is the old seed store. Oh, and morgue. There's a story where there was a bunch of bodies that were kept in here for a while. So yeah, this was the seed store and morgue. Now this right here is Wingo's Restaurant. Check out the smokers. Look at that. Look at the smokers they got. Two big barrels build your fire down here. The smoke goes up and splits. Now you can open your flue if you're only using one. You can just close that side off if you're not using it. But how cool is that? Donald made that. And they'll get out here and they'll have, they specialize in pulled pork. And Kathy's pulled pork recipe, see, her grandmother used to run a restaurant, and her mother used to run a restaurant, and Kathy's been doing it since she was about 5 years old. Kathy is probably one of the best cooks around. When she makes the pulled pork and she'll have these smokers going out here, you can smell it from about a mile away. I mean, the whole town just smells delicious. It really does. But that's a restaurant right there. It's called Wingo's. And they have rooms upstairs. You can rent a room from Kathy and Donald themselves, from a Hatfield and a McCoy, who married and operate a restaurant. And you can actually stay in the restaurant, spend the night upstairs, and eat the food that is prepared by Kathy McCoy, who used to be Kathy Hatfield. Very interesting, isn't it? Now, of course, here on this side, these belong to David Hatfield. Yes, he is related. And I've stayed in this when I came up, and David gave me a room one night. So I came up and showed the place off, and it's an inn, basically. It's a historic Matewan house is the name of it. It's an inn that you can come up and stay in. And they have unbelievable amenities. You know, amenities typically means free. Most places, amenities are not free. David's place, amenities are indeed free. They have coolers in there with drinks and snacks and all kinds of stuff. You know, it's free. It's for guests. You have free access to it. Get what you want. Free firewood, all kinds of stuff. Really, really cool place to stay. And of course, right next to it is the Matewan Massacre site, of course, right here with the burgundy awnings. That was where I started the video off at, right there, where I announced that we're giving up YouTube. Yeah. Giving up YouTube. That's funny. That's funny. But anyhow, that is the old museum, yellow one, gray or yellow, tan. I'm not sure what color it is. That used to be a bank as well. But the old museum, the Mine Wars Museum, was in a small building over here, and they had a really small footprint, but they had tons of exhibits and things like that. So the old Matewan Bank building was sitting vacant, and they took a shot and wound up getting the building, and they have the Mine Wars Museum inside that old building right now. Very, very cool exhibits. I've taken you guys there a couple times, you know, to show you some of the stuff. But if you're up this way, be sure you stop in there and take a look around the old museum. It's amazing. It really is how much of an effect that a little bitty town called Matewan in West Virginia actually had on your life. You know, you don't really realize things like that. You know, how much some little insignificant thing that you didn't even think about can impact your life. This is one of those cases. The Mine Wars was most certainly one of those cases. Of course, there's a few old houses.
Hey, Patty, how you doing, honey?
I do believe that one's David's as well.
Good.
Pretty sure.
I live in the drain. Listen, I sold
But we're going to run down here and get back in the side-by-side and circle town a little bit. And there's the seed store. Wingo's. Matewan House. The museum. The Matewan Massacre site. What I tell you, it's like every time you point your camera, there's something else there. This was the old bank building here, 1913. And this here is a friend of ours named Keith. Has a little place here. He's got a little gift shop here and one there. A little coffee shop there. Check this out. We'll go in real quick just to say hi. Why not? It looks really cool. I've showed y'all this before, but Elvis is here. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. This is, you know, everybody wondering what happened to Elvis. He's here. He's here in Matewan, and he's still singing. See? Right there. Everybody meet Elvis. And he also has the Rat Pack with him too, just in case anybody wanted to meet one of them. You know, we just happen to have the Rat Pack here. These are all real people too, by the way. These are not statues. Look at this place. Look how cute. Little hangout spot. How cute is this? And they've got a little gift shop right next door. Hi. All kinds of little toys and gadgets and, you know, little cutesy stuff. Come to visit. All kinds of little toys. Okay. Heather, you need a fuzzy purse? A fuzzy pocketbook? Ooh, a cow. That one looks like a cow. Kind of looks like our dog. We have a dog named Moo Moo. Heather, is Moo Moo okay? You might want to check on him. Keith done got my dog made a purse. Look at the old jukebox. You just don't see stuff like that anymore. 25 cents. Quarters only. I don't know, it looks old, but it might be new. Oh no, there's some... It looks old back in there. No, modern electronics. Pretty though, isn't it? Very pretty. Alright, moving on. Oh, turn the doorknob, Leo. That's how doorknobs work, you turn them. Why not? Little souvenir shop here as well. Please come to the coffee shop next door. All kinds of gifts, you know, little oddball things. Stuff for trail riders as well. Some frog togs, rain gear. All kinds of preserves, stuff like that. Really cool little town, isn't it? The Sailor McCoy building. Notice the last name. McCoy. 1925. Now right down here was the old depot. This is, well, the train station, not the depot. The depot was its own building. This was the train station where you would meet the trains at. And it's now a Mexican restaurant. But all the floors, they see it got all the old tile floors. Look at that. How pretty is that? Nice restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant now, which I've had lunch here quite a few times. It's called Mi Pueblito. And I asked what that meant once. I think he said it was my home, my little town. Or my home, my little home. Not sure. Maybe one of y'all. Mi Pueblito. Jump in anywhere. Just feel free to jump in. That's my table back there in the corner. I always sit in the back. This is a little artisan shop. They make all kinds of, you know, little arts and crafts and paintings and portraits and things like that. Really, really spectacular work. I've been in here and looked at some of their work before. Really good work. The old Coleman building, 1913, I believe. And the old Blue Goose Saloon, right there. The old Matewan Theater. And this here's Appalachian Lost and Found. I brought y'all here before. They've got a little bit of everything in here. How you doing? Look at that. Look at that. That's exactly what you would expect to find in like a little country store like this, isn't it? How you doing? It's exactly what you'd expect to find. Now this is David Hatfield's place, the one that owns the Matewan Inn. This is his place as well. Wow, look at that. The dagger's made from railroad spikes. Toys and shirts and hoodies and all kinds of stuff. Hats. All kinds of t-shirts. I've got about half of these, I do believe. And that one. Let's see. I've got some of these. Okay, maybe not all of them. Okay, I've got like 3 of these. Never mind. Look at that. That is really cool though, isn't it? If you're over this way, be sure you stop in, visit, check them out. All kinds of goodies. Old candy. Y'all got like the old candy too and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, like the clays there and the sticks.
Oh yeah, I see them now. I didn't even see that. Beeman's gum. I've heard of that. That's old. I didn't know they were still around.
Yep.
Blackjack and clove chewing gum. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Nice toys. Oh, is this the girls over at the artisan shop making these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his wife, Ellen.
Yeah. That is really cool.
Them and everything.
That is really cool. There's a whole scene on a railroad spike. That is really cool, isn't it?
Yep. They got some there. It's bottle openers.
Really?
Yeah, that first one there. They only got one right now over here. There's probably some more over there.
Wow, that's the town painted on there, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
I just noticed that. That's the whole town painted on a railroad spike. That is wild.
Nice.
The depot. Look at that. You can see the depot. No railroad spike. Hand painted by Ellen Hatfield. There you go. You want a unique gift, guys. There you go. One of a kind, wouldn't they? They'd be one. Each one would be one of a kind, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't believe any two's the same.
That is really cool.
Because they're not, like I said, she hand paints them, so can't be exactly the same.
Yeah, that's very interesting, isn't it? What's that one? It's a river scene. People fishing by the river. That is amazing. The detail work on them is really impressive, isn't it? That is really cool, man.
They are. They're nice.
Well, thank you.
She has some that she puts the picture on the front, but we don't have none over here. I don't know if she's got any over there or not.
Really? Over at the artisan shop?
Yeah.
Huh. That's really cool, isn't it? That they do that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
An old mine script.
Yeah, he got in some new stuff there. I can't remember exactly where from, though.
Way they do this, guys, they bring you down here under the pretense of a job. And, we're going to pay you this, we're going to do this, that, the other, give you a house, we're going to, they promise you the moon. And then when you got here, payday rolled around, you found out they're going to pay you in a little piece of tin that has their name on it that is only good in their store. You didn't find that out, though, till last minute. That is cool. That is really cool.
They are.
Well, tell David I said hi.
I will. Yeah, I will.
You too. Yeah, same to you, man. Merry Christmas. Have you a good one.
You too.
Uh-oh. I may need a coonskin hat.
Real rat tail. Well, coon tail, I guess.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the tail's real, but the Other parts fake.
The tail's real, huh? How much are they?
Look, $2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep, $2.
That is a real tail, ain't it?
Yeah, it feels a little strange to me because
Yeah.
at the bottom there.
Yeah, it is a real tail. You can feel it. There you go, guys. Real raccoon tail hats. Take it easy, man. We'll see you later. And of course, Bigfoot crossing. Okay, now this section here they're working on remodeling, doing some remodeling here, putting in some other stuff down on the lower end of town. Looking good. Looking good, guys. This whole lower end, it used to be in really bad shape. Just a few years ago it was in really bad shape, but it's coming along now, isn't it? The Nini building, 1910, was a department store. Imagine that, a 1900s department store, and being remodeled for modern uses. Okay, now this right here was the old Blue Goose Saloon. You can see the sign above the door. This is a recreation of the original Blue Goose Saloon. This is the Phillips building, 1911, and the original Blue Goose Saloon was owned by Dennis Hatfield, one of Dave Lance's sons, and we just, matter of fact, just did a story on that last week. It's very pretty. You know, everyone tries to make it look good, you know, with what you've got to work with. They're really old buildings, you know, they're really old buildings. But they look really good, don't they? I mean, just look at that. What Keith did with this one. That is amazing. There he is. There he is right there. Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil, and he shows up.
What are you doing? Like one of them hillbilly First Amendment audits or something?
Something like that.
Come on in, you can video in here how you want.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
How you live?
I'm still kicking, man. Still kicking.
Yeah.
The place looks good, man. It really does. I see they're getting downtown. The lower end's getting about ready, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they're getting closer every day.
That's David too, isn't that David?
No. On you're talking about the buildings they're redoing down there, right?
Yeah.
No, that's Coalfield Development.
Oh, what are they putting in?
I don't know. I think they're going to have some office space and do some training or retraining for people to
Jobs.
get other jobs, you know. But I don't know 100% sure what all they're going to do. And I think they might be going to redo the apartment upstairs that was Sid Hatfield's apartment.
Really?
So yeah, that'll be pretty neat.
That would be a cool place to.
When they done the demo, they took the old trim and stuff out and stored it somewhere for it to be, you know, redone and put back.
Really?
Try to make it look as original as possible.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. I mean, I remember seeing it, you know, wasn't that long ago. It looked really rough, but
yeah,
it looks good now.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
It looks really good.
Justin and Chris and those guys have done a really good job down there doing that.
I was just saying how Elvis wasn't really dead. He's actually here.
Yeah, he's here in Matewan.
Yeah, he's hanging out in Matewan singing.
He brought the Rat Pack with him. Grinch hangs around for a little while.
Yeah, kind of like Mr. Boney.
Yeah.
He hangs around and heads back to the attic once in a while.
And of course the Marilyn Monroe dress down there.
Yeah. Check this out, guys. I have to grab me a battery here in a minute, but look at this. One of Marilyn Monroe's dresses. It's a summer dress, wasn't it? That's thin.
Yeah.
Freeze to death in the winter with that, wouldn't you?
That was thin, and she was too.
Yeah.
The waist was.
Yeah, she was. You know what? I never did get the bras back then. Why were they pointy?
I don't know.
I don't get that. I never did get that.
Madonna tried to bring them back in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Leo, why they were so pointed. But
Yeah, I hear she's opening a new clothing line. Everything's half off. Get it?
Yep.
That is really cool though, man. Where'd you get that at?
It was actually bought at an auction in Vegas.
In Vegas, huh?
Mhm.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. I'm guessing it came with certificate of authenticity
yeah.
and all that stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's not the white one that got her divorced that sold for millions, but
Right.
nevertheless, it's one of her old dresses.
Huh. That is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat to have that.
It is. It is. That her there?
Yep. That's Marilyn.
A good picture in it.
Mm-hmm.
Good picture of her. Huh. That is really cool, man. How's the shop doing?
It's still pretty good. It's a little slow this time of year. The trail riders slow down.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and everything slows down a little bit. Got a few people Christmas shopping, and we've had quite a few locals in this morning Christmas shopping and stuff. So that's good. But it always slows down, and then about March it'll start to pick back up.
Well, it's good that you chose something cool, If you're going to open a business, you could have opened, a clothing store or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But something like this is pretty cool. It's going to draw people to other places too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's one of the things. Well, that's what got me started, even like with the airboat, doing the airboat. And I had another business owner ask me the other day, said, "Why do you do all of what you do?" And I was like, "Well, how many of my customers has come to you?" She said, "I couldn't tell you how many." So that's why.
There's your answer.
It brings
Yeah,
them here.
That's true. That's true.
Matewan's a really small town, and not a lot to do, in an area this small. Even though we have tons of history, there's a lot to do. You just got to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
But,
You just got to find it.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of outdoor adventure.
Right. A lot of outdoor adventure, and that's again where the airboat idea comes in.
Yeah. Keith is the one. I've went on his airboat tour before. He's the one that has the big 600 horsepower supercharged.
Yep.
Airboat.
LS6 supercharged.
Yeah. He says it all casual. Yeah, it's supercharged. No biggie.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a fresh battery and ready to head out. It's wild, it's interesting. That was the Chambers Hardware and Furniture Building from 1920. And now it's a coffee shop in the historic town of Matewan. It's wild, isn't it? Back then, I'm sure they didn't think that it was going to be, a historic town. But a lot of the old buildings are still standing, being remodeled and reused for a modern civilization. Over here's the Coleman Building, 1915. And the Matewan Theater, 1925, right there. That was the old theater. And of course, right next to it, the Blue Goose Saloon. A lot of wild stuff went on in there. And there's the ones they're remodeling. Now here's the UMWA building that I mentioned earlier. Now I don't know it was the first or whatever, but I did hear that it was one of the first, if not the first. But this side has murals, depicting daily life in a coal mine. And hang on one second, let's step out. Depicting daily life in a coal mine, right? Now you can see here's a couple dudes sitting here, and this one's pointing to a roof that's about to collapse, and he's got dynamite sitting beside of him. These guys here bent over, walking into a coal mine, having your lunch inside of a coal mine. The canary in the coal mine. Now I guess a lot of y'all probably heard about that. The canary in the coal mine, that was a real thing. They would bring in a canary in a little cage, And if the canary dies, you have about a minute or so to get out because you're next. And obviously pushing the coal back out in a little cart on tracks, bringing it back out while this gentleman here is watching. Got his Holy Bible in his pocket. I think he needs to get up and help push, if you ask me. This one here, look at that. Daily life in a coal mine. Crawling around in a little crack. Putting up supports. Very interesting. It's an old coal mining town. And there's the old UMWA right there. Well, the building, that's a new building, but you get the point. Okay. There used to be, is the little Statue of Liberty gone? There used to be, the Liberty tax. There used to be a little tiny Statue of Liberty that sat here for years. There it is. There it is. I missed it. Little bitty Statue of Liberty right there. In case anybody wants to come see the Statue of Liberty, it's in Matewan, West Virginia. Yeah, the one in New York Harbor is a fake. Okay, maybe not. Alright, let's go. Make sure I'm not running out in front of anybody. Now the old road used to go right through there underneath the tracks right there, but the whole town was redone in the 90s when they added the flood wall. The town of Matewan was at one point, I don't know if it still is, it was the most flooded town in America, and they built the flood wall in the 90s to put a stop to it. But since we're right here, if you take a look up right here, you will see that you are standing at the corner of McCoy Street and Hatfield Street. Right here. Imagine that. Hatfield Street, McCoy Street. Right at the intersection. Where Hatfields and McCoys meet. That's literally, yeah, that's right on point. This is where the Hatfields and McCoys met. Back of the Blue Goose. This is New City Hall, which I think it's 80s. Matt Moore, the mayor, Matewan. What's up, Matt? How you doing, man? He was our mailman for a long time. The mailman's the mayor of Matewan. Veterans Memorial. Now this big field right here, you can actually come down here, trail riders. Let me run back here, show you something. If you come down in, say, an RV or camper, you can come down here. Let me get my keys. And rent one of these hookups. You can bring your RV down here and sit up right here, right in town. And the town rents these. And they'll have the Matewan Massacre recreation and Matewan Homecoming. There's all kinds of events, you know, throughout the year that the town holds. And it's, you know, it's one good thing, you know, about this area. It's all about fun, you know, adventure, exploration, history. You know, it's a really cool little area. It really is. But what I wanted to show you was right through here. Now, I brought y'all down here once before to show you this. You see this sandbar right over here where it goes across the river? That is where the Hatfields and McCoys and everyone else cross the river at. How you doing?
Hi, you sir?
Doing good, brother, doing good. Can't complain. The old bridge right there, obviously, that wasn't there. You know, back during the Hatfield McCoy days, the bridge wasn't there. And you cross the river right out here on this sandbar. So the 3 McCoy boys, the boys that killed Ellison at the hog trial and were executed at the pawpaw tree site, they were brought across the river right there where you're looking. That is where you cross the river at. And the spot where they were executed is right around this curve, right on the other side of that little point, right there. That was the actual spot where the pawpaw tree incident took place. But if you notice down here on the stairs, you can see various flood levels. How high? I mean, you can see how low the river is, right? If you look here, 1957 flood, 696 feet, or 696.0. 1963 was 7/10 of an inch higher. And in 1984, the flood was 697 feet. So you can see the markers from various floods, right? Well, guess what? Up here is the flood mark from the 1977 flood. That was our bad one. You see the mark? 1977. That's where the 77 flood came to. And if you look, let me get over here. I want to show you something. You see the mark? 1977. Right there where the mark is. Project a line out in your head. You see that heat pump on that church? The water would have been about where that heat pump is in 1977. So the entire town got flooded. Like I said, back in the day, I don't know if it still holds that distinction or not, but Matewan, West Virginia was the most flooded town in America at one point. We used to crack jokes, you know, that if it gets cloudy, Matewan's probably flooded. And that's, you know, it's not far from the truth, really. Of course, you know, the flood wall changed all that. You know, it keeps the flood waters out of town, basically. But I just thought this was worthy of stopping for just a second. You know, there's a lot of history that took place here as well, especially right there in particular. Interesting, huh? And they also have frescoes on there. Some of the old buildings, and it mentions the May 19th, 1920 Battle of Matewan. Some of the people there. That's presumably, let's see, this would be Sid and his men. That presumably would be Albert Phelps, detective hat and all. It's a very violent town back in its day. Good day for a walk, ain't it?
I don't know if it is or not.
Till it starts raining, it's a good day. Just getting ready to head out. Just saw a buddy of mine, Dave. He's chief of police here in Matewan. He has Sid Hatfield's old job. How cool is that? To have Sid Hatfield's job. He has Sid Hatfield's job. Had it for years. He's been chief of police here for many years. He's a real good guy too. Okay, now we're going to head up back by the back side of the flood wall. Now normally during the summer months, this entire parking lot will be filled with trucks. Field of Screams, check it out. Field of Screams riding team. I kind of like that. But summertime, this will be filled with trucks and trailers and side-by-sides and just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people just out having a ball, riding trails. I like their artwork. Field of Screams riding team from Lancaster, PA. Hi guys, hope y'all having fun out there. Now this is right over there is the back of Wingo's and Kathy and Don's house. this right here, kind of get to where you could see it a little bit. Of course, they're closed right now, but this is the Trail Authority's office for the Devilance Trailhead. And you can come over. They have maps and bathrooms, of course, and you know, souvenirs, t-shirts, things like that. But the trail I showed you a second ago is Matewan's end of the Devil Ants trail system on the Hatfield McCoy trails. So you can actually come right off the trails right down here into town, into Matewan, and just have you a good old time. Explore, check out some of the history, talk to some of the descendants of the Hatfield McCoy feud. They're all still here to this day. This is the parking lot I did 1,000 donuts on. That was a good night. It was a very good night. And there's the depot. And we are almost back where we started. Right down here. Not a very big town, but yeah, pound for pound, it's got a lot of history. And back at the Matewan Massacre site, where we began our little adventure today. Back at the Matewan Massacre site, where we are quitting YouTube today. Sorry about that, guys. I actually married a couple. I can marry you guys, by the way. You know, I actually married a couple right there a couple years ago. Sure did. Married them right there in that very spot, right in front of the bullets. I stood, hang on. I stood right here in this very spot and said the words, "I pronounce you man and wife," right here in this spot. How cool was that? Right in front of the bullets. Right directly in front of the bullet holes. Alright guys, I guess I need to, much as I hate to, I need to end the video somewhere. Now, I haven't covered a fraction. I haven't covered 1%, okay, maybe 10% of the history that's actually in this town. I mean, could you imagine if these hills could talk, the things they would have to say? Hi, babies. Hi, baby dogs. Oh, hi. Hello. Hello. I dropped my phone. It went down my pant leg. Oh, those are fine. Yes, hello. Hello, baby dogs. How are we? I love your dogs. Yeah, you're cute. You're very cute. Okay, I'll quit petting them.
Yeah, we're trying to give them train.
Have a good one. Well, guys, as I was saying, thank y'all for coming along. We appreciate y'all coming along on our little trip today through Matewan and kind of thumbing back through our history just a little bit, you know, some of the stories that we've came over and told you guys. Very much hope y'all enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys watching, and y'all have a really good day, and we will see you next time on the Hillbilly Files. Leo out. See y'all later.